Hey, before we jump into today's story, be sure you never miss another episode of 10 Minute Murder. To do that, all you have to do is follow the podcast on whatever app you're listening right now. It might say subscribe, follow, or collect, something like that. It depends on where you're listening. But hit that button and be a part of everything we're doing here.
10 Minute Murder contains depictions of actual crimes. What you are about to hear is real and violent in nature. Discretion is advised. This is 10 Minute Murder.
Welcome to 10 Minute Murder, the brief and bingeable true crime podcast. I'm Joe, the host, and thank you for being here. And thanks to everyone sending in stories to 10minutemurder@gmail.com. I assumed that I'd get a few here and there, but I probably already have enough to do a whole episode. But don't stop sending them. I want to make it a regular thing. And in case this is the first time you're listening and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to start adding in an episode to what I already do, where I include listener-submitted stories. But you have to tell the whole story, because I'm not going to have time to go and research all of these stories that people send in. So tell me the whole story. Doesn't matter how long it is or how short it is. It can be just a couple minutes or it can be a whole episode. It doesn't matter. But email it to 10minutemurder@gmail.com and I'll read it on an episode. The story we're talking about today is the home invasion that led to the murder of a rapper, singer, and songwriter. His name was Bashar Barakah Jackson. His rise to fame never got a chance to peak before he was gunned down. We'll talk about his early life, his short career, and the 3 adults and 2 juveniles that broke in and murdered him. This is the killing of Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke, Bashar Barakah Jackson, was born on July 20th, 1999, in Brooklyn, New York, to a Panamanian mother, Audrey Jackson, and a Jamaican father, Greg Jackson. He also had an older brother named Obasi. Jackson attended 9 different schools while growing up in Brooklyn, and when he was young, he played African drums at his local church. In the 8th grade, he was expelled for bringing a gun to school and spent the next 2 years on house arrest after being charged with possessing a weapon. Jackson started playing basketball and was good. He was a point guard and shooting guard. Because of that, he relocated to Philadelphia to enroll in Rock Top Academy. Doctors discovered there that he had a heart murmur, and he was forced to leave the academy. Jackson later returned to street life. In a later interview, he stated that his name of Pop Smoke is a combination of Papa, a name given to him by his Panamanian grandmother, and Smoko Guap, a nickname his friends gave him when he was growing up. In 2018, Pop was visiting a Brooklyn recording studio with his friend, rapper Jay Guapo. Just hanging out, seeing how it was all done. And Guapo got high and he fell asleep in the studio. So Pop went into the booth to try rapping for the first time, just to see if he could do it. And not only could he do it, but he was good. He used a beat he got from 808 Mello's YouTube channel and recorded his track titled NPR, Panic Part 3 Remix. On January 28, 2019, he released Flexin'. Pop Smoke became friends with producer Rico Beats. Rico also knew record executive Stephen Victor. The 3 set up an interview, and in April 2019, Pop Smoke signed to Victor Worldwide, which is a subsidiary of Universal Music. On April 23, 2019, Pop Smoke released his breakout single, Welcome to the Party. It was produced by 808 Mello. 2 remixes of the song were later recorded, one featuring Nicki Minaj and the other featuring Skepta. Pop Smoke released his debut mixtape, Meet the Woo, on July 26, 2019. From October to December 2019, Pop Smoke would release a bunch of singles, including War and 100K on a Coupe. On December 27, 2019, Pop appeared on Travis Scott's Cactus Jack Records compilation album, Jack Boys, on the song Gotti, which they also shot a music video for. Gotti debuted and peaked at number 69 on the US Billboard Hot 100, giving Pop Smoke his first Hot 100 hit and a little more clout. On January 16, 2020, Pop Smoke released Christopher Walking. The next month, he released his second mixtape, Meet the Woo 2. The mixtape debuted at number 7 on the US Billboard 200, earning Pop Smoke his first top 10 hit. Pop Smoke teased to social media his debut headlining concert tour, Meet the Woo Tour, to promote both his mixtapes. The tour is planned to begin in the US in March and end in the UK in April. On January 17, 2020, after returning from Paris Fashion Week, Pop Smoke was arrested by federal authorities at JFK Airport. He stole a Rolls-Royce Wraith valued at $375,000, whose owner reported it stolen after Pop Smoke had reportedly borrowed it in California for a music video shoot on the condition it would be returned the next day. Investigators believed he arranged for the car to be transported on a flatbed truck to New York. He posted a photo of himself in front of the stolen car on Instagram and Facebook. The car was recovered by authorities at Pop Smoke's mother's house in Brooklyn. Police tried to get Pop Smoke to snitch on the Crips after his arrest. They questioned him about the non-fatal shooting that took place in Brooklyn in June 2019. The police thought he had information on the shooting because they claimed to have footage of him driving a car in reverse near the scene of the crime. They also tried to pressure Pop Smoke into telling them more information about the Crips, GS9, and other Brooklyn street gangs, but he refused to talk. Police charged Pop Smoke with a federal grand theft auto charge after pressuring him again about his connection to the Crips and more non-fatal shootings. He again refused to cooperate. He posted a $250,000 bond and agreed to stay away from known gang members and submit drug tests to the U.S. pretrial services. On February 19, 2020, Pop Smoke was renting a house owned by the Real Housewives star Teddy Mellencamp in Hollywood Hills, California. At around 4:30 a.m., 4 hooded men, including one wearing a ski mask and carrying a handgun, broke into the house and shot Pop Smoke twice in the chest.
Do we have anything? Hello, this is the fire department. They're not talking.
Sir?
Hello?
Hello?
This is the
fire department.
This fire department's on the line, sir. What is... give me your... Hello? Hello? PD, what are your numbers?
Okay.
I'm going to tell them to wait for LAPD. All right. Okay, I'll send them. Yeah, me too. I'll get it going. Thanks. Hello?
Who else is this? Bro, I can't make this is in a room. You go somewhere else. I think she's playing that way. I heard some stuff. Yo, I don't know what to do.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello,
Yes,
this is the fire department.
Here.
I know, but you're not talking. We're already on their way. Give me your...
Yes.
Okay, unit's already en route. Is the person who did...
I can't talk to you anymore. I can't talk to you anymore. Just
Okay.
come here.
Do you know what to do?
No.
Okay, then listen to me. I'm going to tell you how to help this person.
I'm listening.
Okay, now listen. The person...
Just got here.
Okay.
No.
Are you in a safe place, sir?
Yeah, I don't know.
Unknown, okay. They're on their way. They're on their way.
I'm going to sit down with
Police arrived at the home 6 minutes later and found Pop Smoke with multiple gunshot wounds. He was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. A few hours later, he was pronounced dead at the age of 20 years old. Investigators believed that the house was a target for home invasions following a string of robberies that took place at homes rented by musicians. The LAPD at first considered that Pop Smoke's death was gang-related as he was tied to the Crips, but also suspected that his killers may have been gang-affiliated. The LAPD later believed his death was the consequence of a home robbery gone wrong. The day before his murder, Pop Smoke and his friend Mike D had posted several images on social media, including one in which the home address can be seen in the background. The rapper also posted a story on Instagram and Facebook of gifts that he had received. One of those showed the house's full address on the packaging, giving out his current location. Family, friends, and fans of Pop Smoke gathered in Brooklyn to show their respects. His casket was pulled in a horse-drawn carriage and was surrounded by glass windows and white curtains. On July 9, 2020, 3 adult men and 2 minors were arrested for the murder of the rapper. Pop Smoke's suspected killers were identified as Corey Walker, 19, Keandre Rogers, 18, Jaquan Murphy, 21, and 2 unnamed juveniles who were 15 and 17 at the time of the killing. Walker and Rogers were each charged with murder on a special circumstance that alleged the killing was committed during the commission of a robbery and a burglary. A judge later determined that Rogers was still a minor at the time of Pop Smoke's murder. Walker is being defended by defense attorney Christopher Darden, a former prosecutor you might remember from the O.J. Simpson murder case. Walker is eligible for the death penalty or life without parole if convicted on the murder charge. The two juveniles have also been charged with murder and robbery in juvenile court. Murphy was later charged with attempted murder. Pop Smoke's parents, Audrey and Greg Jackson, shared memories of their son before saying how gun violence took him away from them. Audrey Jackson said, "On February 19th at 4 a.m., a gun was used to take my son from me. You know him as Pop Smoke. We called him Shar. Because of gun violence, I'll never see my son run up the front of our steps, taking them two at a time. He won't ever take my hands again and dance with me. He won't come into my room and muscle pose in the mirror. Gun violence destroys families. It must stop." Dior, the second single off of Meet the Woo, became Pop Smoke's first posthumous solo hit, peaking at number 22 in the Billboard Hot 100 and number 33 on the UK singles chart. At the beginning of March 2020, 50 Cent announced that he had decided to executive produce and finish Pop Smoke's debut studio album. After his announcement, 50 Cent called artists like Roddy Ricch, Drake, and Chris Brown, wanting to feature them on the record. Pop Smoke had wanted to take his mother to an award show, prompting 50 Cent to promise to take her to one when the album was complete. On May 14, 2020, Victor announced that Pop Smoke's debut studio album would be posthumously released on June 12, 2020. The album would be known as Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. It was originally set for release on June 12, 2020, but was pushed back out of respect for the George Floyd protests. Virgil Abloh created the album's artwork. The artwork provoked significant criticism from fans who called it lazy and rushed and felt it was very disrespectful. It prompted a petition with tens of thousands of signatures. Ryder Ripps created the final cover art with a chrome rose against a black background. Pop Smoke's mother chose the final album cover hours before the album was released commercially. It was officially released on July 3, 2020 to commercial success, reaching number 1 in several countries, including on the Billboard Top 200. All 19 songs on the album charted on the Billboard Hot 100. A few months after his death, his family announced the creation of Shoot for the Stars, a foundation launched by Pop Smoke, which aims to help inspire inner-city youth with a platform that helps to achieve goals amidst living and growing up in difficult circumstances. That's today's 10-minute Murder, the brief and bingeable true crime podcast. Hey, thanks for listening today, and don't forget what I mentioned at the beginning of this episode. If you'd like for me to read your submitted story on this podcast, you can email it to 10minutemurder@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening right now, and you'll never miss an episode. And if you have friends that are into brief true crime stories like this, tell them about 10-Minute Murder. Thanks for listening. Have a good night.